Okay, let's move it on to AEW because we've talked about Collision. And I believe it was last week's Collision where this statement came out from one Bryan Danielson. He talks about the fact that he promised his daughter that when she turns 6 or something, that's when he's going to start winding down his career. And this is what's apparently on the cards. It now looks that sooner or later, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, will be stepping aside. There's a chance he may be a special feature for AEW, is the word they're talking. But if Bryan Danielson is going to call it quits, here's my question. Does he end it in AEW? And if he is, let's put it company-wide, like for all the different companies, who are some of the last few feuds or matches you would like to see from Bryan Danielson, Big Time?
It's an interesting question to ask whether he hangs it up in AEW or WWE, because obviously this storyline is gonna like reach its conclusion in AEW, but then whether he appears back in WWE after that at some point, maybe for a one-off match or something, who knows? Could easily happen. But in terms of this run, of course, the first match announced as is Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, and that's something that's going to be excellent. It's a dream match. It's probably going to be the match of the night at Wrestle Dream. Yeah, so we look forward to that. And it looks like Tony Khan is prepared to drop the big bucks at these pay-per-views because he keeps using the final countdown as Danielson's entrance theme. Yeah, and it's a great moment. And it fits now. Like anyone was wondering why is he using that tune. Now you have a reason. It's the final countdown.
Sure.
It really is. Yeah. Who would I like to see him face? That's difficult, man, because there's plenty of people. There's people I want to see him fight again. Like I want to see him fight Omega again. I want to see him fight Okada again. But yeah, there's people like Naito. I'd like to see him fight. I would like to see him do fight Bushi again. In terms of the AEW roster, yeah, like I would like to see him maybe go one-on-one with Phoenix. I like to see him involved with stories with Eddie Kingston. Like there's so many people that you just put him in the ring with, and there's gonna be magic. There's gonna be gold. Like I'll try and look up and down that roster and think, is there any dream matches on AEW itself? I don't know. I can't really think right now of who I would want to see him face because he's faced pretty much everyone who I really wanted to see him face. Yeah. Has he fought Hangman yet?
I don't think, to my knowledge, no.
Well, there's a good start.
Did they possibly meet at Blood and Guts? Was Hangman part of the Elite again?
Yeah, no, they fought like
like not an actual feud, innit?
Yeah. They not had like an actual feud or a one-on-one match. I don't think. Yeah, they did have a one-on-one match. It was a throwaway one. It wasn't like. Can you think of any people I'm overlooking on the main roster?
So here's the thing. Here's a funny one. I would like to throw it back to old school Ring of Honor. I don't know if they've had an actual feud, but like, give me American Dragon and Samoa Joe one more time. I think that would be all kinds of awesome. Let's go back to an old school element on that.
Wait, there's a big one. There's a big one I didn't even think of. Yeah, and that's Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryanson.
That would be big. I didn't even think of that, to be honest. I did not think of that. That would be a match. That would be a match. Here's one that seems a bit more lower down the card, but I think it would elevate the kid to the level that everyone's hyping him to. Give me Bryan Danielson versus Hook. I would like to actually see that. I think that would give me a nice little technicality, couple of decent suplexes from Hook. With like, if he can pick up bigger guys, this shouldn't be a problem for him. So, but I think it would really. I think Bryan would have it in him to give us that elevation of Hook. He would really take Hook to the limit, and that puts Hook in a position to be fighting for titles that aren't just the FTW title, or elevates the status of the FTW title. Those kind of matches would be something cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Hook. I mean, basically, Danielson elevating people like Hook would be great. I'll tell you some other matches. It's starting to like come back to me now. Yeah, I would like to see him fight Swerve and Strickland because
Nice.
Swerve is a amazing wrestler, and to be honest, like he may not be at the level of some of the other main eventers and stuff, but his matches are always on point. Yeah, and I just feel that he can make magic with Danielson. Yeah, I would actually like to see Keith Lee and that David
Yeah,
versus
that was on my
Goliath.
list.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Even like maybe Miro like could get in there against Danielson. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you know what? It's really bad of me to say this, but like we could even have Christian mentioning his dad, and we could have Bryan Danielson versus Christian Cage. Like it's
Hey,
sad to bring that element in, but I know how close they were. It can infuriate Bryan Danielson to the highest degree. And these are 2 season vets who I don't think I've seen in the ring together, but I think could create an absolute magic in the ring. Like, yeah.
who would you choose to be his last match if you could?
So here's the thing: if I had to do an absolute last match, and it's wrong because the guy's already retired, and it would be on a WWE tour, I would put serious money down for Daniel Bryan, as it would have been. Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle would be the biggest match I think I could ever ask for. But I
Yeah.
don't know what Kurt's available to do anymore. And look, he retired to Baron Corbin, and I think that was the worst retirement match I've seen in my life. It just wasn't what it was meant to be. It just wasn't.
In terms of
Okay.
main roster, though.
Yeah. But okay, so here we go. Again, like legitimately, I think if it was an AEW front, give Hook that win. Give Hook the chance to go toe to toe with him and let him be that new young technical wrestler who just goes deep and like all out. You know, I think him having an implosion with the Blackpool Combat Club would be something. So he walks out in his own sword. He walks out as the man that we like to cheer Bryan Danielson to be. You know, that kind of Lone Ranger. Go back to your Yes-or-Mania days. But I think like he takes on all of these people because he's just on a tour, kind of like a Ric Flair thing. Like you're the next match you lose is you out, and he's just forced to take on strong competitors.
Well,
And
speaking
out of
of
nowhere,
that, what I would hope they do is on his way out, maybe give him a little nudge, give him a championship one more time. And that championship I would give him would be the Ring of Honor title. I'd have him versus Claudio because that will be a smashing match.
that would be a match. That would be a match. That's the sort of thing I'm looking at. You know, look, Takeshita turned his back on people. He's someone who would be
Oh,
quite interesting.
Takeshita versus Bray
Yeah,
Wyatt.
do you know what I mean? Let's take it back. Like Jericho, Daniel Bryan Danielson has to happen one more time. Let these stuff happen. If he was to do a WWE tour on his way out, I mean, Gable would be a good shout. Again, it's weird that it's mid-card guys, but it's guys who have got that similar style and technicality behind it. And who knows, like, if CM Punk is there, let him meet Punk one more time in WWE.
But you know
Yeah,
what? If I had my choice of absolute last match, I would think it had to be one of two people. I would think it would have to be either Omega or Osprey. Yeah, I just feel you would go out on such a high facing one of those two. Yeah, and they're just burning down the place.
I mean, maybe Osprey. That would be the rub that they're looking for Osprey, like the biggest independent star as they call it. If you're going to go out, you lose to the best. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a shout. But guys, again, please comment below. Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan. It doesn't matter what company you see him in. You could have someone on Impact. If you want to quote Moose. I don't care. Comment below. If you want Rainmaker one more time, say it. Like, we don't care. It doesn't matter the promotion. Bryan Danielson is this man's name. He's also known as Daniel Bryan. Comment below. Who would you like to see him take on in his final match? If you want him to bring back Kane, say it. I don't care. Just quote who he would like to see as his final match, which company, what event. Let us know below. I would love to hear from you.
You know what?
Right.
There's some matches for him in Impact, man. Him versus Josh Alexander. Now that's a dream match.
There you go. Like this is the thing. You can't underestimate It's so bad to say this about Impact, but you can't underestimate a smaller company for what they've got. You know, you could go to NWA. Okay, he's apparently gone. Nick Aldis on NWA. Eddie Edwards in Impact. Like, there are people made for this guy to fight out here. Like, it's not a thing.
Well, Aldis versus Bryanson, yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? There are matches. There are matches.